Ken jy die see? Deur Uys Krige. That name looks pretty familiar, right? She actually was the poet in the unseen poem of the 2024 November Paper 2, Farm Gate. The poem was actually written in Afrikaans, and the DBE just decided to translate it and give you guys the English version. Pretty crazy, but in summary, this poem is about a fisherman who is unhappy about a complaint from one of his buyers. And he calls him meneer, tells him about the dangers that fishermen have to endure every single day to be able to sell fresh fish, and the dangers that they go through. And that makes the price reasonable. That's it. So, the dangers that fishermen experience. Okay. Now, the structure of this poem is that of a monologue. So, he's acting like he's Hamlet here, delivering to be or not to be. A monoloog of 'n alleenspraak, like an alone speech. Die visserman praat met 'n afwesige man, the buyer. And the poem is also called a ballad, quite similar to Die Heks van Heksrivier. And it consists of a quatrain that is followed by a refrain. We also have a rhyme scheme here of kruisrym in a quatraine. So a quatrain, 4 lines, so see, beneer, skier, vier, kind, wind, dier, eer, and so on and so on. So the key themes, everyone must realize that life is very expensive, especially the actual life of the fisherman. So the cost of living is just too high. And how life treats us sometimes, calmly but also rough like a storm. And how people can easily complain when you are the person who had to struggle. So in the poem, the buyer complains about the price of the fish, but he did not have to weather the storms and all the difficulties that comes with being a fisherman. So just having some level of gratitude, or in this poem, lack thereof. And our tone, so we've got a very morbid tone here, very sad, and also that of heartache and happiness. So just a bit more on the title, the titel. We have an ellipsis, and this allows the reader to pause and think and focuses their attention on this question, on whether they know the ocean or the sea. Ken jy die see? Do you really know the sea? Do you really understand what I've had to go through to give you your damn fish? That's how I imagine, the fisherman is feeling. He's just like, he's super angry, ready to throw some hands. You know what I'm saying? Really, it's not like that. I'm just being a bit dramatic here, dramatis. So, let us get into it. This is your longest poem as well, BT dubs. So get ready. I'm going to try and summarize it as best I can. So we have a rhetorical question here in line 1, real Ian. And this emphasizes the unpredictability of the ocean. And jy is meneer, same, and it indicates that he is addressing this buyer of the fish directly. Line 2, hey, this is in reference to the ocean, and we are comparing the ocean to the front porch, the voerstoep, essentially saying that the ocean first looks very calm. Now in line 3 we have a vergelijking. We're utilizing soos, beneer, so the correct word is actually beneerder, but beneer is only used for a rhyme. And we're saying that it looks like there is nothing under the sea, so we've got a bit of a poetic license at play. The word is beneerder, it should be beneerder, but Uys Krige is using her poetic license here and saying that it looks like there's nothing under the sea, and that's how smooth and calm everything looks. And in line 4, maar, nice conjunction, shows that the ocean isn't really like this, and looks can be deceiving. Hy is, vaarlike vlam of vuur, so V, a V alliteration here, and it emphasizes just how dangerous the ocean can be. And the ocean is like the flame or a fire. In line 5, an alleenplasing, so we have a line that is completely alone, alleen, and we have a very sarcastic tone here, almost. In line 6, D, the E is also stressed, and this is the accent on the D, and it emphasizes what follows. We also have the S alliteration here, still and soet, and this shows that when it is calm, it has a sh-ing sound. So some levels of tranquility, peacefulness, vredeheid in Afrikaans. And when you think of how the ocean sounds, the waves crashing calmly on the shore, it sounds very peaceful. In line 7, we have a D alliteration, dit, da. And this emphasizes the sound of the waves crashing. In line 6 and 7, looking at it as a whole, it's essentially saying that the ocean looks so calm, and it's almost like it will be that calm for days on end. In line 8, again, introduction of mar. Again, it shows that the ocean doesn't always remain calm. So mar, it means but. It's not a vending here. I know it is like that for most of the other poems. And we have an accent here on the E. So the E is stressed, just like you ball of stress for your matric final exams. And so D is stressed here. It's referring to a very specific breeze. Die bulderende wind, the roaring wind. And this contrast breeze. Breeze, roaring wind, completely different. So we've got a juxtaposition between the two. We've also got a B alliteration. And this emphasizes the sound of the waves. In line 9, now we have our wending. Now we have our change. And here, the calm of the ocean changes to bulderende. Vech is to fight. And they are fighting for their lives on the ocean, hour after hour. So I'm going to change up my color now for this alleenplasing. En jy sê nog, meneer. Now you're saying, sir, die vis is duur, the fish is very expensive. Placing emphasis here. And again, it repeats a rather sarcastic sentence like, I've had to undergo all of this. And you, mister, you telling me my fish is expensive. I say, Mao, you're mad. But obviously, we can't speak to our clients like this. So he's keeping it, very formal, very professional. Line 11, we have an S alliteration. Sleep, swart, swart, swart. It's also a repetition of swart. And it emphasizes that the storm the fisherman faces is impending. It's really hectic. And swart here, it's been repeated 3 times. It refers to the Zuidooster wind in Cape Town, the Cape of Storms, the Cape of Good Hope, notorious for having really bad thunderstorms and showers. Also, swart, it brings that very ominous and foreboding feeling of this storm approaching, our impending doom. Almost as though the darkness that the storm brings has negative connotations. And the repetition of swart, it emphasizes these negative feelings and circumstances. So a repetition of a specific word would be anaphora, anafoor. In line 12, var, we've got repetition here, and this emphasizes their helplessness when they have to endure the storm. And there's no one near that can help them. Vars, we've got a contraction here, var is. Vars ons naaste buur. So as a whole, this is intertext, intertextualiteit, met die Bijbel. So it's intertext between line 12, versreel 12, in die Bijbel and the Bible, and it's in reference to Psalm 121. Help will come from God. That's Psalm 121. In line 13, die dood, the dead. This is personification of death. We also have the D alliteration. Die dood staan voor die deur. So we're at death's door here. In, the accent emphasizes how close they are to dying. And it's just one step away from it. So accent on the E, accent on the E again. Line 14, kelder. This is an expression usually used when a ship is sinking. Hy refers to the ocean. Koue refers to just how cold the ocean water is. Skier, this is a possible reference to their loneliness out on the ocean. Line 15, again, all alone. We've got a nice alien plossing here. Line 16, another rhetorical question, a retorische vraag. The storms that continue for long periods affect their ability to go out and fish. And this affects their income. That is line 16. Now, lines 17, 18, and 19, I would like to look at as a whole. And this is what they have to do when these storms occur for days on end. Now, in line 17, this is when they sit in a kliphuis. That is very damp and cold, the stone house. And this is very uncomfortable for the fishermen. So it's an uncomfortable fisherman house. And in line 18, we have a W alliteration. I've made this joke so many times, but if you were an alliteration, you'd be a W alliteration because you're winning at life. I would usually laugh at it, but it's the 3rd time I'm making this joke. So if you watched all 10 videos, ILY. And the W alliteration here emphasizes the sound of the wind. Further, it also personifies the wind. In line 19, we've got some assonancy, sound repetition, geen, meer, and this emphasizes that they cannot make the fire. So, simply put, there is no wood to make a fire in this damp and cold stone house that they have to sit in for days. while they wait out the storm. So they're just waiting for the storm to pass. So this is a very difficult life, and they are powerless against the will of the ocean. And they cannot go fish in a storm. So it brings us to line 20, where we have another alienplasing. Dan sê jy nog meneer, die vis is deur. So after all of this, now you're still saying, but that my fish is expensive. In line 21, we've got a start of a rhetorical question, retorische vraag. And we have some nice assonants here. Bootjie, soos, vier, geveer. And this is the sound of the fisherman being swept off the boat. Then we've got a vergelijking, comparing the little boat, the bootjie, to a feather in the ocean. The boat is as light as a feather. Line 22, we've got a G alliteration, grys, golf. This emphasizes the strength of the waves. We've also got a vergelijking here, a simile, as this compares the wave to the wall of a prison. And it basically means that there's no escaping this wave. They are going under. In line 23, spartel, dit beteken, it refers to fighting, like trying to stay afloat. Fighting to stay above the water. Line 24, waters, waters, and this refers to the water of the ocean. So ten seer, it emphasizes the taste of the ocean, salty and sour. So here the drowning is imminent, it's going to happen, and there's no time to brace yourself against the wave. He's asking, wat helpt it? Like, why are we even trying to fight? And again, line 25, our alienplasing. Again, like, meneer, mister, now you're still saying the fish is expensive after I experience all of this. Is jy Jas? All my Cape Townian peeps know what that word means. I'm not going to say it here. Try my best not to say any bad things in case I get in trouble with YouTube. But are you mal? Say mal in your kop, brah? Is that why you're saying, oh, this is so expensive? Like, do you know what I had to go through? You don't know me, son. Okay, look, the fisherman was probably not saying that, but I am, because I'm dramatic. So, line 26, doodsangst. This is the fear and the anxiety of death. We've also got a nice rhetorical question here. And it's also the intensive form, van angst. So there's an extreme fear, like this dead anxiety, fear, nervousness of the ocean when the weather is like this. Ruk, wind, klap. This is the K alliteration. Ruk, klap. And this is the sound of the waves crashing, the wind blowing, the sound of the storm. And we've also got a bit of personification here, as the wind/storm is slapping. You know what slaps as well? When you like wake up at 2 a.m. and you're super thirsty, and you like go down to the kitchen like silently so you don't wake anyone up, and you have some like cold water. Yo, slaps, bro. It slaps. Lines 27. D, the E is stressed again, showing something specific. Waansin, this is madness, so this specific madness. Geen redmiddel of kier, so there's no remedy or cure to the madness, and this is a metaphor. In line 28, hey, this is the personification of fear. Vreet, to eat, usually an animal vreets. Grab, this is a bottom feeder, a scavenger. Also got a bit of a vergelijking here, as hey, the fear is being compared to a crab eating your insides. Hectic. So basically, the fear of death consumes you. In line 29, we have a paradox that is present. And Uys, contraction here, it refers to the ocean. He's as cold as ice, but hot like hellfire. So we've got the physical feeling of being in the ocean here, and they are shivering because of the water, but sweating. And line 30 again, our alienplasing, repetitie. Line 31, we've got a repetition of line 1. Line 32, once more, hey, is in reference to the ocean, personification. Groen, green, so this refers to the green color of the ocean. So the ocean is, well, it's literally green. But figuratively, green is the color of envy. And our G alliteration once more with groen, gleer. It emphasizes the personification of the ocean, but more importantly, it's the ocean showing envy, jealousness, jaloerse. They are taking the fish from it. And in line 33, we have Ian O. Mistapi. Just one wrong move can cause your death. In line 34, hey, the ocean. We've also got some assonants here with O. Tromp, op. Very quick assonants, very choppy in every single word. And this just shows how fast the waves are coming at them and how sudden it happened without warning. The ocean is unpredictable. Line 35, herhaling. Some more repetition. Our alleenplasing. Line 36, yay, the buyer. So this would refer now to the buyer. Krom, crooked. So we feel sorry for her. Our o vroutjie. This is an old small woman. Assonance with o. O, vrou. And it's done to emphasize just how old this very small in stature woman is. Mevrou Mati. Is that Daleen Mati who wrote Phyllis again? Question mark, question mark? Nah, probably not, but that is a proper noun. We've also got some assonance there with E in line 37. Far. The E is also stressed there. Telkens. And this repetition shows that she looks for a long time. Glove. Sorry, that's my dyslexia coming through. Dis golve, waves, and deur, stare longingly. Look, that dyslexia joke, it was just a joke. I know I shouldn't be joking about things like that. Please don't cancel me. I'm just trying to help you with some Afrikaans. That's a bad joke, but to be honest, I've made much worse jokes. Hey, look at my English poetry videos or my accounting videos. Those jokes are bad. Hey, really bad. Don't cancel me. I'm just trying to help the grade 11s and the matrics achieve their wildest dreams. Well, you can come try cancel me. Woza lapa. Let's see you. That's my inner Durban gangster side coming. Brisa Brung. This is personification in line 38. Brisa Brung is by Afrikaans. We've got a B alliteration here, and it emphasizes the personification. And in line 39, we've got our climax. And in the climax of the poem, Hulle, this refers to her sons, this o vroutjie sons. Slaap, this is a euphemism for death, an euphemisme. Verdood, meer, this refers to a cemetery and it indicates that they died. In line 40, we've got some more repetition. And again, our ellipsis. And this causes the buyer to think about his comment that the fish are very expensive. We've said it multiple times here. And this constant repetition, hierdie herhaling, this question has been repeated throughout the poem. It emphasizes the message of the poem, which is that the lack of knowledge that ordinary people have is emphasized 6, 7, 8 throughout the poem. Not just in the alleenplasings, but even in the stanzas. About the price that fishermen have to pay for consumers like us to be able to buy their fish. The price they have to pay is sometimes their lives. There are countless fishermen that have died in their pursuits of earning a living after dealing with rough waters. So the common person doesn't really understand the plight of fishermen, especially those that are independent, not these, massive commercialized trawlers. So fish are not really that expensive when you consider all of the above. Hey, but I'll be honest with you, if you go to like John Dory's, Fisherways, those prices are expensive, but too much expensive, too much.